Welcome to the fourth official episode of Masti with Satvik Saini. Today we have a very special guest, one of my high school buddies. I went to high school with him, and we've been talking sports for such a long time now. Thought I would have him on, so it'd be the perfect time. He's also worked in the sports industry, and we're all very much missing sports right now, so I thought it'd be a good time. Plus, a very special episode of The Last Dance by Michael Jordan's documentary series came out last night, so I thought this would be the perfect time. So we will have David come on board. Oh shit. Waiting for David to join.
What's up?
David,
How's it going?
doing well. How are you?
Good. A little pissed that you didn't say that we were current best friends, just high school friends. It's
Because
cool.
we're not.
All right.
How are you doing? What'd you have for dinner?
I had some cod, asparagus, and potatoes. How about you?
Sounds boring.
Whatever.
I had a funny, well, I had a Indian delicacy. It was like this cauliflower wrapped in spices called Manchurian.
Nice. I made that last night.
I know you didn't. Fuck off.
All
But
right.
all right, David. First
What's
and
up?
foremost, thank you so much for doing this.
Of course.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wow. Okay. I born and raised Colorado. Just moved back to Colorado actually after living in Connecticut for a year and a half. I came back just so I could see Satvik again. Once was not enough when you came to New York City. So,
That was
uh,
fun.
but yeah, right now I guess professionally, I guess I'm a video editor. So, my really amazing introduction.
Dude, welcome back to Colorado, first and
Thank
foremost. You came at a pretty kind of shitty time, I guess.
you. Yeah, I can't really enjoy it. I was gonna go to an Avs and a Nuggets game, and then whatever. I mean, that's probably the worst thing to complain about. But I was excited for the sports, and kind of got ruined. But it's all good.
Especially because the Avs and Nuggets, everyone's doing good.
I
But
know I had to go to the playoffs, but
dude,
whatever.
last time I saw you, so I saw you in New York City, and you
Hmm.
were in sports. You were
Yeah.
working in the sports industry. So
Hmm.
can you tell me how was that? Did you love it?
Yeah. I mean, I think I learned pretty quick that just because you're, I guess, passionate about something, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily properly suited for you to be a career path. Because obviously, I love sports and being around them all the time. But I think when you actually do it as a career, it sucks that joy that you had out of it, which might be a cynical way to look at it. Um, but I mean, you just can't enjoy them the same way. It's 1 in the morning and there's an overtime game. And instead of being hype about it, you just want to go home. So you're like rooting against the big plays, which sucks. Like you don't want to be bitter about the thing that you love. So I think that's definitely like a harsh reality of doing that. And I'm sure that's not true for everybody, but at least for me, that was true for sure.
So what exactly did you do, or who did you work for?
I work for CBS Sports HQ, and they're located in Stamford, Connecticut.
And what did you do for them?
Wide variety of things. It changed a bunch because they were a startup in, I want to say, was it early 2018? I think they were a startup. So, um, yeah, I mean, it's a small staff. It's a lot of young people, and so I did a wide variety of things from video editing to producing to making graphics. And for a couple months before I left, it was just a lot of graphics making, which gets boring. So
Really? So you thought your passion for sports actually declined while working for them?
for sure, yeah, I know that's a really sad way of looking at it. Um, but yeah, I don't know. You just when you're there, you can't even pay attention as well either. Like, because you would think, oh, if you're at work, you can watch sports. It's so much fun. Like everybody's a big sports fan, which is great. I mean, I loved all the people, and I still liked working there. But
Hmm.
for me, and I know you can relate, like when sports are such a big part of your life, it's tough when it feels like it's just like I don't know, like when you're doing homework instead of watching a game or something like that. That's kind of what it translates to, where you can't pay attention to what you're doing. You're working.
Oh, so give me an example of you having to sacrifice
Hmm.
where you were like rooting for the big plays not to happen kind of deal, which just sounds so counterintuitive.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think it was a what game was it? I think it was Rockets Celtics earlier in the season, and I want to say it went to overtime. It was a great game, and it wasn't the one that was in February, but it was like longer ago. And I remember,
Mm.
I guess both games were good games, but I don't remember. Like Tatum hit a big shot, and everybody was just pissed. You're just in the control room, and you're like, you're so close to going home. Or like, I'm a big UFC fan, and when McGregor came back and fought Cerrone, it was awesome because it ended quick. So we're like, oh, cool, we won't be leaving at 4 in the morning. And then we had to wait forever for McGregor to get to the presser because you have to run the presser. So that was just a huge bummer.
Wait, so
Um,
let's say a game, a marquee game's on, so you come into the office super late and stay throughout the
no,
morning?
I mean, so we were like the night crew. So everybody got in around like 3 p.m., 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., and then you leave like 1
Oh,
a.m. to 2 p.m. Yeah, I mean, for a lot of people who obviously work in sports, that's just normal, or work in broadcast or journalism, that's just totally normal. But I think for the people who don't understand, who are big sports fans, who are always like, "Oh, it's so sick! Like that must have been so much fun to work during, like, say, the NFL draft." And for me, it was like
yeah.
having to work an off day for 10 hours to fire graphics for the fifth round, sixth round, seventh round of the draft, and like, I mean, that's just obviously not fun. But
Oh, so like the tremendous amount of work that goes behind the scenes that people really like. If I see Stott Van Pelt on ESPN, I'm like, oh, that's such a cool job. But
right,
he
but
stays up.
he's not having dinner
How?
with the kids. I mean, yes, that'd be
Because this
tough.
show comes on. Time.
What's up?
What time does this show come on? It's super late.
Yeah, like his is probably what, like Eastern time, like midnight.
Wow. So he's prepping from like six. His work hours probably like 6 to 4 in the morning, 6 p.m. to
Yeah,
4 in the
I mean,
morning
I'm
or
not
something like that.
sure totally what it would be, but yeah, it's not. I mean, he's great at what he does. I'm sure he loves it, so I'm not going to obviously knock that. But it is tough. I mean, no matter what, as we've talked about before, you got to make sacrifices. But at a
Yeah.
certain point, it's just the balance of how many sacrifices do you actually want to make. If you love it that much, then obviously keep doing it. But I don't know. At a certain point, I just like sitting back and watching sports. It's tough. It's NFL Sundays aren't the same. Like what you cherish of that nostalgia as a kid with sports, and you grow up thinking like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. It just kind of gets sucked away, at least for me, in that way.
So you just never got the chance to be a sports fan while working in sports kind of deal.
I don't think so.
Kenny's asking
That
how
was a
much?
great question,
A
Kenny.
hundred bucks. Kenny. $100. So let's say, would you? Are you currently still in sports, video editing, or
Um, like yes and no.
okay?
It's like a video editor role for like a company that has multiple different areas that they do certain projects and have different clients. So some of it will be sports because it's one of their companies, I guess, that's under their umbrella is like a soccer media company. But as of right now with COVID, it's been crazy. So I've been doing a lot of non-sports things, which is fine. I think
Okay.
career-wise, I really like video editing and storytelling, and that's what I like the most about the sports side of things. So yeah, I enjoy that more.
As far as your passion goes, would you ever go back to the type of role you had in Connecticut, fully sports?
Maybe I don't know. I don't know. I just yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
So what is what like? I know you mentioned the sacrifices that go in sports and how you lose kind of passion, but what's another thing that people kind of misunderstand about working in the sports industry, or some of the challenges that you don't think
Hmm.
about?
Um, I guess just with everything being live, I lost track of what that's like for people on the outside, but you kind of just expect immediacy and accuracy, obviously, and sometimes it's just impossible. Like when you see people mess up, um, like it's just bound to happen.
What do you mean people mess up? Oh, like real time
Oh
doing
yeah,
something?
sorry. So I guess with certain things when you do like breaking news, say like I'm trying to think of a good example. When all baseball stuff was going on and the Mookie Betts trade happened when he got sent to the Dodgers, um,
Oh,
I just remember like I mean like when you see those lowers on the screen that say like breaking like Mookie Betts to the you have to do it
yeah.
so quick and you go up live so quickly and so many people are doing so many different things, especially at least at our station when there's not that many people. Um, I mean it's just it happens naturally. We'll say there'll be like a one of those full screens that maybe lists some like profile stats. I remember with Luke Kuechly when he retired,
Oh, yeah.
whoever did his name spelled his name wrong, and obviously like that just comes with professionalism. But certain things like you're so you're typing so quickly and then it just happens. It wasn't me, so. But
Are you just saying because
yeah,
like how quickly you have to get it out? Mistakes are bound
right.
to happen.
As a viewer, you might think like, oh, how could you possibly make that mistake? Which, like, yeah, it's still a bad mistake. You don't want to make those mistakes. But if you're typing something in a second and your producer says, I need that lower right now, we're going live, like, you have it, sometimes people just might mess up.
Well, that's an interesting point. Something I guess we don't think about sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
So as far as let's say sports are paused right now. I'm missing sports a lot. I'm sure the entire sports world is. You are too. When do you think basketball specifically? Because I want tonight's focus to be a little bit more basketball, NBA. When do you think NBA resumes? And if they do, how will that look like moving forward?
Obviously there's no way there's going to be fans. Just no way. I mean, I could even see that
For
happening.
how long?
Do you think? I think it could happen in the next season. What do you think? Until we get a vaccine, I don't know how you can pack an arena with fans. Like, I mean, what do you think?
Yeah. Well, first, do you think playoffs come back for NBA? Because they were supposed to start this weekend?
Yeah. Oh, it's sad.
Do you,
I do.
do you think it's done?
I trust Adam Silver. I really do. Yeah. I mean, I could see it because I think part of the reason why, like, some people's maybe concerns would be, oh, well, then what do you do? Just push back next season? And I think that could be the push to just make that permanent. Like, how awesome would it be if NBA started in like late December and then ended in like mid-August? And you get no break between the NBA and the NFL. So when things do go back to normal, whenever that is, eventually a long time down the line, I feel like it would be cool if the NBA season just forever started later and ended later.
True, that would coincide well with the NFL. But there's a lot of talks. A couple of owners did want to, and let's just be clear, like Adam Silver does have 32 bosses, and they're all the owners of the NBA teams. So he's probably getting a lot of input from all those guys.
Right.
But I think it's the Hawks owner who said something like that they should push back the schedule, and I wouldn't mind it.
I think it'd be cool, and I think this would work out perfectly because if it comes back, say with no fans, ends in maybe August, and then next season just gets pushed back and it's just permanently like that, I'd be okay with it.
That's interesting. No fans. That would be. How inclined would you be to watch?
Oh, of course I'd watch. I mean,
You'd still watch? Would it not?
It'd be weird, but who cares? It's sports. You got to save the season.
That's true, especially because I guess this matters more for maybe like LeBron being in
getting swept by the Grizzlies,
final stages of his career.
No, yeah, and I mean, I think just as a fan, like I'm not even like a LeBron fan, but man, it would suck to see the season end and LeBron not get a chance. I would love to see him win again. I think that'd be awesome.
Do you think it's going to happen in the summer, sometime soon, hopefully, but no fans?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being optimistic, I think it certainly could, but I have no idea.
Yeah, especially with like a second wave, maybe. Yeah, that would probably not be the smartest to pack, but there goes season tickets and whatnot.
Seriously, though. Yeah, but I feel like the NBA is a sport that could totally do it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many players would want to like live in hotels and just be constantly quarantining. I don't know. With all of them obviously having families, but I feel like enough players, with how far along they are into the season, I feel like all of them are at the like unfinished business phase of everything. So why would they not want to?
What about like money wise? Do you think they can survive no fans?
Yeah, good point.
Stadiums, arenas.
That's a really good. That's really
NBA.
Good. Yeah, right. I mean,
I think NBA is probably more inclined.
They don't have that right now, anyway, right?
That's true. At least they get the TV ratings or TV viewership there.
Right. And everybody
will be interesting
on TV. So
that's also true. Hopefully, most of the people.
Yeah.
I mean, what else do they have to do? Ooh, got a question by Carson. Do you think the level of play and competition would be the same without fans?
Yeah, I do.
You want to take a stab at this?
I personally do. I mean, we've seen the videos of those open gyms, whatever gym that's at. I think we talked about this before, like where all big players go, like Booker's usually at those open gym sessions. There's like different celebrities like Travis Scott and like Quavo have been there. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, Lifetime Fitness in New York, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
House of Highlights stuff.
Like JR's there.
Oh, yeah.
Mello always is. And we watch that in the off season, like, basketball, and they're clearly like even when they're playing against like random celebrities, they're taking it pretty seriously. So I feel like, especially during the playoffs, I think we'd have a better look into how competitive it really is without all the crowd noise, without all the music, without all the distractions. And you'd really see how like players, and you could like hear the dialogue a little bit better on the court. I think that'd be cool. I personally think
Ooh.
the level of play would be the same. I just think the rustiness of everyone coming back will definitely like it will take people to get used to it again for sure. That's why I hope they don't jump straight to the playoffs because there still is season to go. Why not just pick back up in the season? I think at least. I don't know.
No, that's a good point because LeBron even said this. I think he was talking about like his body's shutting down when it's usually ramping up during this time because he goes in like this 0 dark 30 mode. Like that'd be weird if you're like every year you're ready for playoffs and your body just shuts down. You're just chilling on the couch.
Especially all these massive dudes, so it's going to be so hard on their knees and just all parts of their body. Injuries would happen, and that would suck.
No, sure.
There'd be a lot more injuries if they just jumped straight back into the playoffs. Like everybody would get hurt.
No, that's a good point. Well, we didn't get the playoffs this weekend, but we did get the first 2 episodes of The Last Dance, baby. Michael Jordan's 10-episode series about the 97-98 Bulls coming off their second three-peat. The first 2 episodes launched last night. I have a lot of thoughts on this, but I want to hear yours first.
Well, I mean,
what'd you think?
Of all, it was great. I mean, there's nothing else to watch. Like watching live TV is so cool. I saw a tweet where somebody had said this doc is so like needed and so well done that they thought, after this episode, I hope Pippen doesn't get traded. And obviously we know that he doesn't. But dude, it was so nice. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was so amazing to have just I don't know, and like everybody's on Twitter tweeting about it. That's part of the feel of live sports. That's so great is you go on Twitter and people are so hype about it and you can feel like you're watching it with other people, and that's how the doc was too, which was awesome. Like you don't ever get that with a documentary. Like live reaction, which was a lot of fun. I got a friend that
since it's like the only sole like live thing here too. Since it's like the only live thing too.
Right.
There's more focus on it.
Definitely.
But dude, as far as our generation, like we know about MJ, we know the legend aura of MJ, right? The GOAT, whoever the case may be. But how much do you like? A lot of that documentary was news to me, to be honest.
For sure.
It was new to me.
Yeah, I mean, because we only know the highlights of MJ's career, maybe some of the intricacies, but I never knew about his foot injury. Never ever knew about that. That's not something why would you know about that? I mean, maybe if I don't like study up on MJ. I'm not like a big MJ fan, so the little things like that. I mean, it is cool to learn about some of that, and just hearing the perspective of his old teammates. Like I was hoping we'd hear from James Worthy, and that was cool to hear him say like, for 2 weeks, and that was hearing those different perspectives is definitely awesome. Not something you would have ever gotten unless maybe if you were watching college basketball in 1982.
For sure. And he also, another thing I liked about his whole UNC spiel, the coach, Dean Smith.
Yeah.
When he talks about MJ has played at UNC for 3 years, they're like skyrocketing, numbers are popping, college basketball is doing amazing for the ratings and whatnot. And he tells MJ to go to the draft. Like that, I thought that was pretty wholesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Actually tell a player best interest.
Right. And that's something that, shout out to Coach Calipari, does that now too, is that he doesn't want players to get hurt or risk a draft position. Like he wants them to go make their money. Like he sets players up for the NBA. And I think that definitely echoes, what Dean Smith did back then. I think that's awesome. More coaches should do that. That's why I don't like Coach K and like Bill Self, because they just do it for themselves. They just want to be successful there. There's so many Duke players that flop or KU players that flop. More so than I think Kentucky, at least in recent years when it comes to the NBA, because they don't set them up for the NBA. Like Jahlil Okafor could have been great in the NBA, and Coach K didn't care. He just wanted to win. And then he went to the NBA and was trash. So.
No, yeah.
Not to get too off topic.
Calipari also has a lot of those one-and-dones.
Say that again?
That's why Calipari has a lot of those one-and-dones where he like preps him for NBA. Yeah. But dude, as far as the documentary go, did you think anything about the release of it, the timing of it, anything interesting there? Because it's supposed to apparently.
No, go ahead.
It was supposed to be released during the finals, where they would alternate days during the finals, and there was a strong chance LeBron would be in the finals and MJ would be like, I thought this would be kind of be like a little jab and be like, hey, you still remember me? I'm a badass mofo kind of deal.
Right,
which I
right.
thought was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what was that quote that we saw recently that MJ had been holding on to the footage and then gave them the go ahead to make the doc like
Yeah.
right Avs parade. Right, so to go with that. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, 2016. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
thank God they moved it up though. Like we were just talking about, I feel like you actually have live sports. It's so nice.
I think the documentary is already well run, but like releasing it during this time heightens the experience more. Or people will always be like, "Oh, remember the quarantine, David? Yeah, we'll be talking about this doc. This was when it was launched."
Right. Yeah, no, totally, yeah. It was perfect timing. Genius, truly.
So there's 2 episodes launched, which I thought they're doing it well. Good thing they're not releasing them all at once because that would. I like the wait. I like the wait. You know, you're building, looking forward to something. And I think everyone on Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, should be
Yeah.
watching. But
Are you happy they didn't release them all at once?
oh yeah,
Yeah,
because I think everyone would just binge it. It just wouldn't be as cool. But like if it's something you're looking forward to on a
I
weekly,
agree. And then like, you get the live aspect of it too.
that's
Because I
true.
think, like I was
So
saying, you get
what?
the community of watching it all at the same time.
No, I agree. As far as the actual documentary goes, the first 2 episodes, what did you think was interesting or surprising?
Hmm.
Something that stood out to you. I was like, oh damn, MJ, man, MJ's the real deal. Or like, I don't know.
Yeah. When I definitely hearing Scottie Pippen's 7-year, 18 mil deal just sounds so weird now. That sounds so weird. Hearing that, I mean, I had no idea about that. And then just looking through like his old contracts when he went to Portland 2 years later, he got paid, and I guess that kind of made up for it for him, probably I would assume. Um, but yeah, that was surprising.
Yeah.
I did not know about that, and I didn't know anything obviously about Jerry Krause. Like I
Dude,
absolutely
did
knew
you even
nothing.
know who that was?
Mm-mm. Did you?
No, like I looked up. I was like, they don't have any Jerry Krause on here, and then I looked him up. He's actually died. He passed away 2 years ago. I was like, oh, that explains a lot.
Oh, interesting. But David Stern
Yeah,
was on there. I mean, I guess David Stern obviously passed away in the last couple of months, but still.
that's true.
Yeah,
So, what
interesting.
did
Yeah,
you
I
think
was wondering
about?
why we didn't hear from him. I just thought it was because everybody had such negative things to say about him. But I guess that makes sense.
One thing I don't understand is if you have an owner like that, like, dude, MJ and Scotty were like berating him in person, like in front of everyone.
Crazy. Yeah, I
Did you see
wonder
the
how.
joke MJ made about him being short? He's like,
Yeah,
yo, are those the pills you take for being short? I was like, god damn.
yeah, and then he like made a comment about his weight. He was like, "Oh no, those are like the diet pills or whatever." Like that. Yeah, I couldn't imagine saying that's like my GM. That's crazy. I wonder how frequently any of that happens in sports.
Well, even if it does, it probably doesn't last for that long.
Right. Or to maybe that extreme. Like they're saying that Scotty was like yelling at him on the team bus. I just couldn't imagine witnessing that if you're another player or on the staff or anything.
Well, that was the end of the second episode, right? Phil Jackson was like, yo, Scotty, you got to calm down kind of deal.
Right,
Because on
right.
the bus, now.
Hmm.
But as far as like owner relationships, MJ had a problem with him. He's obviously the greatest star at that time. Scotty, the number 2 guy, had a problem with him. And then Phil Jackson had a problem with him.
Right.
I don't understand how someone could be, or how long someone would put up with this kind of stuff. I'm not saying he's a terrible GM. I
Right.
mean, he definitely built a dynasty, right? So he does deserve some credit there. But like, how long could someone sustain that? That's what I did from '84 to at least the end of the third three-peat.
Right. I don't know. I'm honestly now watching this too, knowing everything that was going on that obviously we wouldn't have known about because we were a year old. And that's something that probably just doesn't last having people talk about. But I was just, it's crazy to think that knowing that they won that year. That's why I'm curious to keep watching the doc because I'm like, how did this team keep it together and actually win? Everything that was happening with Scotty, that's insane that they still won the title because the 2004 Lakers fell apart and the Pistons beat them in the finals because, I mean, that was, I guess, more internal with Kobe and Shaq, but still, I mean, that team even had like old Gary Payton on the team, like, and they still lost. I mean, the Pistons are a great team, obviously, but just knowing how quickly that fell apart because of a sour relationship at whatever level it was. Know that the Bulls still were able to do it. I mean, I'm sure part of it knowing that it was Phil's last year, I would assume served as motivation, but that's why I'm excited to keep watching.
That part I also didn't understand. Coach is doing well. You're on your third or second three-peat, or coming off going for the second three-peat. And he's
Right.
like, Phil, this is your last year.
I
I don't
know.
understand that. I
I
don't
don't
understand
I
that.
didn't know about that. I didn't know about that either. I guess I had never really questioned why he was with the Bulls in 97, 98, and then was with the Lakers. Like, I had never really questioned that he ended up winning a team 2 years after he had finished up his second three-peat with another team. But
You paused. Are you still on? Some technical difficulties here. 1 second. Adding David back.
sorry.
Dude, you're
my, inter-
shitty.
my internet passed. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, all good. But that's. Oh yeah. Also, Phil Jackson has a lot of rings.
It's a lot. He's 11.
Damn. And he went
As
2 years
as
after.
what?
2 years after the three-peat, going back with the Lakers. Oh yeah, Kobe and Shaq era.
Yeah.
That's one thing I don't understand, and it's just blasphemous to me. Like someone would want to get rid of someone or the entire core when you're at the third leg, or even MJ playing through that time. Like you're right,
Yeah.
like teams would fall apart. They were initially
Right.
when Scotty was holding out.
Right. Yeah. I know. Yeah, and I guess MJ retired for 3 years after that season too. And I'm sure we'll learn a little more about that because then, yeah, he was gone for 3 years and then went to the Wizards. Yeah, and also I think
I
another.
don't know.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you got it.
I was gonna say another thing that I totally forgot is in the season that I guess it's about the 97-98 season. That was MJ's what, like 14th year in the league?
I don't know. I thought. Oh no, yeah,
Or I guess,
84. He
or I
came
guess
in.
maybe 13th year because yeah, he was a rookie in
Yeah.
'84.
Mm.
I don't know. It's just not something that I really ever thought about because like
No.
I don't know. I feel like that wasn't made as much of a big deal. But man, he was. I mean, I guess duh. If you win your after you win your sixth championship, you're probably in the league for a while. But I just didn't think about how old he was.
No, that's a fair point. And also, I think this documentary coming out. I think it's good for even like our generation, people older, will see the true greatness of MJ. One thing
Yeah.
that stood out to me, the injury, right? The injury, and the guys and Krause and everyone was like, "Do not go back. It's the second
Yeah.
year, 10% chance you don't play ball again." And
Yeah.
he was just, what was that game? Like the game before they almost went to the playoffs, and they're
Right.
last, and they're like losing record. They make the playoffs,
Oh yeah.
and he's,
Didn't they only win 32 games or maybe 38? It was like
yeah.
that's crazy. That's so weird to see that a team with that record made the playoffs. It's really sad.
Also, he was when you couldn't play in the last like 30 seconds. Did you see how pissed he was?
I mean, wouldn't you be pissed? The fact that minutes restriction was so dead on that it was like he can't play more than 14, like not even 14:01, or the coach will be fired. I mean, whatever. They got Phil Jackson, so who cares? But
No, that definitely showed us the true like competitiveness. So, like
yeah,
MJ, I've heard the stories, like the legend, like the Kobe. The closest thing we have to MJ now is probably Kobe, or was, rest in peace, Mamba. But that's what he was,
yeah,
MJ. And then, dude,
yeah.
the playoffs going up against. I've never seen someone so excited to go up against the first seed with such a terrible team and drop what 50 and 60.
Seriously, right?
Did you
Yeah, it's
see him
like
moving
the
out? It was
mentality.
just insane.
Getting booed makes you better. Yeah, that's insane, especially against the Celtics with Larry Bird, who had already won 3 championships at that point.
Also, him moving out there, it was just completely. It was different. It was like, oh man. And Larry Bird, even some of the quotes he said about MJ, I was like, wow,
Yeah, yeah.
real deal.
Seriously though, yeah, and I think it is cool, like you had mentioned, for our generation to get that because we don't. Obviously, we just kind of take people's word for it, or you just watch highlights, and that definitely doesn't do it justice. Like I'm never somebody who's been like, "Oh, MJ is so much better than LeBron," but it's good to get more of a reference. I think for sure.
Definitely, dude. I'm looking forward to the rest of the series. I might even do an episode after it's done. This worked out perfectly,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, definitely.
All right, David, we're approaching, I guess, the end of the convo. Is there anything you want to plug? Last final thoughts?
No, I just want you to text me more.
That's all? That simple?
No, I don't have anything to plug.
All right, bro.
Good talking.
Well, David, I appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Of course.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for episode 4. I'll have this out on Spotify and IG Live tomorrow. Let's pray sports are back on. And everyone, watch the MJ documentary on ESPN. Every Sunday, there's 8 more episodes left, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Learn a little bit about Michael Jordan, baby. All right. Thank you all. Have a good night.